gamers, welcome back to the Board Game Captain. I'm the Board Game Captain.
I'm Lynn.
And today we're going to be reviewing and showing you how to play and talking about The Liberation of Rietburg, published by Thames and Cosmos and designed by Gerhard Hecht. I'm going to show that up to the, whoops, I'm going the wrong way, up to the screen over here. It's written very small there. So, the first things first, I want to thank Thames and Cosmos for sending me this review copy to play and have fun with and do some video content with. Before we get going, though, I also want to draw attention to the shirt I'm wearing, which is my Drink and I Game, It's What I Do shirt with a mug of beer and a D20. Shirts like this and others, as well as fun gamer gear mugs, are available over on our Teespring store in tons of different colors. Head on over if you want to equip yourself with some great gamer gear, and if you'd like to support the channel and get access to videos early, as well as the ability to request review and tutorial videos for classic games, and also have access to exclusive patron giveaways, you can join our Patreon. There's also a link to that in the description down below. So now, The Liberation of Rietburg. This is a cooperative fantasy game.
Yeah.
And it is, oh yes, I'm getting to that. I saw it.
Okay.
So this is a game where a bunch of monsters have taken over this castle. You can kind of see it in the illustration here. And you have heroes who are going up against the monsters and have to defeat them before the dragon shows up. Because if the dragon shows up and you're still fighting over the castle, you guys are toast. Is basically how it goes. So you each pick a hero and you go out and you fight the monsters. You're trying to take them down and complete enough tasks to win the game. So the game is listed at 2 to 4 players, ages 10 and up, and the play time is 40 minutes. So we're going to start there. Now, we've played this at 2 and 4 players, and I think it plays just as well at both. I mean, there's really no difference in the way it plays at all.
No, it's just the number of, cards you get at the beginning.
Yeah, and it scales well because of that. Because at the beginning, you add a bunch of encounter cards equal to twice the number of players. So the more players you have, the more extra encounter cards that are there. Plus, every time a player runs out of cards, they have to draw one of those cards that causes you to get more cards. You'll see all that when we're showing you how to play. Which means the more players, yeah, you have more people completing tasks, but you also have more people adding cards that you have to get through. So it kind of evens out. There's an easy version, which is fairly easy, and then there's an advanced version, which is where we've been playing it at because we're not beginners. And the advanced is pretty tough. We've beaten it, but we've also lost at it. So I would say it's a good amount of challenging, which actually brings me to the 10 and up bit. I think that's a pretty good estimate, especially since there's an easier version in here that's not as challenging. You would agree to that?
Yeah.
Okay. And the playtime says 40 minutes. I
think that would vary with players.
Yeah. Okay. We've been agreeing with just about everything else they said here. The playtime, there definitely needs to be a range. I don't like it when they just put a static number because more players can definitely mean more playtime. But also, there really should just be a range in general. I think the first time we played it, we were in around an hour. And then the second time we played it, we were in around half an hour. So, like, there's really some variance. I would say probably half an hour to maybe like an hour 15 is probably the range. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds right.
So, I mean, the 40 minutes is in the middle of that, but it definitely could go longer or it can go quicker. Can definitely go quicker. So let's have a look at what comes in the box. So first thing in the box is the rulebook. Now I read this rulebook and then was able to teach, right after reading it, a full group of 3 other people how to play. The rulebook is well done. There's diagrams showing you the full setup, which I really like. These are well done diagrams here. There's I did not agree with some of the order they put rules in. I felt like some of it felt like I would have organized it in a different way, but I think that's a personal preference issue. There was no like ambiguities or there was nothing where I felt like there was a missing rule. So that being said, I would say this is a very good rule book. Yeah. Now, the next thing we have here is the board. So the board is mostly a placeholder, really, for where all the cards go, the locations. But I really like the artwork on the board. I think it's very pretty. I do have one very minor gripe about the board, is I would have liked it to be a little bigger to fit the cards completely on it, because the way it is now, some of the cards kind of hang off the board. But that being said, of course, they were probably trying to keep the cost down. They want to make this like a smallish... It's not a small box game, but it's smaller than a medium-sized box game. It's not one of those big squares that a lot of games come in now. They will probably want to keep the cost down.
It's probably... I would say it's probably like hardback book size almost. I mean, it's obviously...
A little bigger.
It's a little bit bigger. It's obviously thicker, unless it's like some like War and Peace or something like that. But... So it's about the size of a hardback.
I do want to draw attention to the insert, because actually the insert's nice. You've got a space for everything. It's a cardboard insert, but it's full color and there's illustrations in it, which is kind of neat. It's not, I mean, let's see if I can see some, you can see some of the illustrations there. I'm going to turn it a little bit. You've got spots for the cards. You've got spots for all the tokens. There's even extra space if they want to do expansions to add more cards and more tokens. There's extra room to fit probably an expansion or two in here. So it's a decent insert, and the box is definitely big enough for what you need. So you've got a lot of cardboard standees, which have a front and a back of the characters, and there are tons of different characters for you to choose from. There's lots of cardboard punch-out tokens for things like quivers of arrows, which then have numbers on them, and these are willpower points. And there's lots of special ones, because certain characters have special abilities that only they can use. There's one character who can summon this water elemental to help in battle, and that was really cool. One of our players used this in the first game we played, and it was actually quite useful, quite very, very powerful. And then we've got the cards. So you've got one set of cheat sheets. I have a gripe about this. I would have liked more cheat sheets.
The double-sided is annoying to constantly have to flip back and forth.
But I would have liked more sets, so you could have had a few sets around the table. Yeah. There is kind of a truncated cheat sheet on the back of the rule book, so we use that on the other side of the table. But I mean, these card cheat sheets are decent, but I kind of feel like they could have fit in, you know, a couple more sets of these. So you could have had them all over the place. So that's a minor gripe, but, you know, it is what it is. The next set of cards we have here are the, what do they call these? These are the goal cards, but they have a different name. Is it task cards? Yes. So these are nice. They have nice big pictures, and they tell you exactly what you need to complete their particular task. So they're well done. These are really good. I also really like the picture on the back of them showing the broken double doorway with a question mark, because until you flip them over, you have no idea what you're going to be dealing with. So those are cool. The next group are the encounter cards. On the backs of encounter cards, you have this darkness or smoke with a pair of eyes in it, and it's because once you flip one of these over, it's usually a monster. Here's one of the monsters, for instance, and the artwork on these is really nice. There's some really good fantasy artwork monsters in here. Though on occasion, instead of a monster, you find items, which is really cool. It's always such a great bonus where instead of finding a troll or a skeleton or something like that, you stumble across like this magic mirror. And then these you can just pick up and use, which is really awesome. But yeah, the illustrations on these are pretty great. I like the fantasy art style they went with. I'm definitely a fan. Very nice looking cards, and the cards are easy to read and easy to understand what you're looking at and what you're dealing with as soon as you flip them over. Next, we have the Narrator Cards. The Narrator Cards show the narrator symbol on the back, and on the front they have a couple different things. When you flip these over, they tell you where to add cards to the game. And then we have friend cards. The friend cards go out on the board. These are possible allies you can recruit during the game. You need to defeat trolls to be able to recruit the friend cards, because that is the bonus, the reward you get for getting for defeating a troll. And then each character has a set, usually of 3. There's one character that their special ability, they have 4 of cards that have lots of options when you play them of what type of actions you can do. And that's really everything that comes in the box in order to play the game of the Liberation of Rietburg. So now we're going to head over to the table. We're going to run you through a few turns. We're going to show you how this game works, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about how this game feels, and we're going to rate it and review it. Okay, so here we are set up to play a two-player game of the Liberation of Rietburg. So to start off, we start by choosing a character each. I have chosen to play Thorn, who is the blue character here. And Lynn?
I am Chada, who's green.
And we each take our cards of the character who is relevant, and we put our player tokens in location 6. So locations go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then after doing that, we need to shuffle up the task cards and deal a random 1 to each of the locations face down without looking at them. The rest of the task cards are removed and will not come into play unless there's an action that causes them to come into play. Then we have to shuffle up the encounter cards, which are these ones with the on the back. They have like a picture of darkness with eyes in them, glowing in the darkness. And we deal 1 face down encounter card on top of each location over the task cards. Then we need to shuffle up the narrator cards. And after shuffling up the narrator cards, we first deal out a number of narrator cards face up equal to the number of players playing the game times 2. So in the case of this game, we did 4 of them. And each one of them, in addition to their bit of storyline, will instruct you to place out more encounter cards, either face up or face down, in specific locations. So we did all that. Then we deal 10 face down narrator cards to the deck, which is a bit of a timer, because the goal of the game is to complete 4, count them, 4 of the 6 task cards that are out here before we run out of narrator cards and need to draw an extra card. If we need to draw a card and there are none left, the dragon, who is shown on the board here, will arrive and defeat us all before we're able to clear the castle of monsters. Next, we shuffle up the friend deck and place it on the board. Defeating trolls allows us to take friend cards, which are going to be extra cards for our hand, and we place out all the willpower points and the quivers. The quivers are important because Lynn is playing the character that uses the quivers. What is your character's name again?
Chada.
Chada, who is the green hero. Now, once we've done all that, we're ready to play the game. The game is fully cooperative, and again, we have to defeat 4 of the locations completely and also solve their task cards. When it is your turn, you have a choice of 2 possible actions to take. The first possible action is to play one of the cards from your hand face up on the table, and when doing so, you choose one of the actions to take on the cards. There's usually 3 possible actions with ors between them. If there are multiple things in the area like there are here, this one has a move and a take a willpower. You can do those multiple things. Or if you have run out of cards, they're all face up on the table already, or you really just can't do anything with the cards you have, you can take the action Hero Revitalization. Now, the Hero Revitalization action allows you to pick up all the cards on the table, including friendship cards if you've taken friend cards and played them face up. But then you must flip over one of the narrator cards and read it and add more stuff to the board, which is going to make it a little bit more difficult. Now, there are quite a few things you can do as free actions that do not cost you an action on your turn. They include things like picking up an object at the location you're at, and that includes if you're able to move multiple spaces, you can move to one area, pick up an item there, and keep moving. So you can do it in the middle of your movement. You can pass friends items that are at the same location you're at, or ask them to pass you items at that location. You are also allowed to, for free, turn up a face-down task card, task cards only. Encounter cards require actions to turn them up. That will be on your action cards. And you can also, for free, complete a task card if there is nothing on top of it, and you can fulfill the requirements. So without any further ado, we're just going to jump on into it. Lynn, would you like to go first or second?
I'll go first.
All right, so start us off. Show the card you're going to use, and let the viewers know what action you are taking.
I'm going to use this top action. It's just a 4 punch in the face.
So it is a 4 attack.
And I'm going to attack this Gar.
Now, show how that works.
The Gar has a 3. You have to have a 3 or better in order to defeat.
Now, when you defeat a character like that, you get to keep him in your trophy room, which we're going to keep up here. It's going to be a little bit out of view of the camera. But also in the case of this Gar is worth 1 gold coin, which we can discard this towards paying for something that costs gold. We discard it from the trophy room, but also things in the trophy room are important even if they aren't worth money, because a lot of the Task cards will require you to have collected certain monsters or certain items in the trophy room. Also, when you collect an item and then use it, they're all one use only, you place it in the trophy room as well, and some of them can be used extra as gold or towards collecting things. Was that it for your turn then?
Yes.
Okay, so what do we have on that spot
He's
now?
at 11.
Oh my goodness, he is a tough one. I don't think I can take him on. So we've got, what else do we have going on?
There's a 6 and a 2.
And we can actually take out the 2 now, can't we? Because we've got the coin. And the 2, didn't he have correct me if I'm wrong, I believe he had a...
It's closer to you, I don't know what it says.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I believe he has beneath him the item. Yeah, he has an item beneath him. It's that cool item that lets us pick up 2 cards. All right, so here's the thing. I cannot kill that thing right now. I can collect 2 willpower. It's an 11, right? Mm-hmm. That still would not be enough to kill him, though. Almost enough. Because I do have an 8 power one. 8, so that'd be 8, 9, 10. I'd be 1 shy. I can flip 2 cards face up. Mm-hmm. Or I can do a move. Or a move and collect a willpower. What do you think would be best for us right now? What's your opinion?
Move and collect a willpower?
You think that'd be good? Because then I can get to a right spot. So do you think maybe I should go over here so later I can just like whack him? Yeah. All right, so you know what? I am going to do that. And you know what? I'm going to leave that whole discussion in because that's a big part about how this game is played. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to play this card here and I'm going to do the move and collect a willpower. So I'm going to leave this one face up. So I'm going to collect my willpower. And for my move, I'm going to go over to spot 3 because I agree with you. I think that's a good idea. What you going to do?
I'm going to do a move and get a quiver. It's the bottom one on the card.
No, that's important. We should address that. The quivers are very important for Lynn. She has a bunch of random stacks of quivers so she can draw them randomly. Because she only has 1 attack that allows her to attack normally with 4 power. All the others require her to use and discard quivers she has collected. But she has one that she can even use 2 quivers to do massive damage. She gets that instead of willpower. Most other characters can use willpower to slowly boost up their attack. Instead, Lynn gets the quivers.
So I'm going to move here.
Okay.
And hope that I pick at least a 6.
Good luck. Let's find out what you got.
I got a 2.
Well, you're probably going to have to do some more collecting of quivers. Okay, so my turn. I'm going to do... this guy's only a 2. He's very easy, but I have to get rid of gold to defeat him. So I'm going to do this 4 and collect a willpower. My guy gets to get a lot of willpower, which is really cool. So I'm going to collect another willpower. I'm going to discard the gore from the trophy room, which gives us 1 coin. He's out of the game. And that allows us to defeat the skeleton warrior. After a victorious battle, you have to remove a card with a gold symbol. Otherwise, you're not allowed to defeat him. But now he goes into our trophy room, possibly for collecting later. And the next card that comes up face up is an item, which we knew was there from during our setup. And it is as an item, I can draw it for free, which is very nice. It is the apple nuts. It's 1 use, of course, like all items are. And in exchange for 1 gold, you and/or your fellow players may pick 2 already played cards back up. So this is a really great item because it allows you to prolong having used up your cards and therefore prolongs having to draw another narrator card. So I'm going to put this one face up in front of me to use later. We do need to collect another gold before we can use it, but then I'm out of stuff I can do.
I'm going to do the bottom one, which is move and flip over a card. I can flip over a card at any location, but I'm going to do it at the location I'm at because I want to see if I can kill something next turn.
Next turn. Yeah. Well, maybe 2 turns because you're probably going to have to draw everything back up next turn.
10!
Oh, man, there's some rough guys out there. What happens with that guy if we defeat him, though? Because I may be able to do a 10 soon.
You may move 1 top face-up creature to a location where a hero is standing.
Well, that's not actually that great a reward for a 10er. Okay, so my turn then, yes?
Yes.
Okay, so now, unfortunately, my final card that I have here is not one that allows me to flip up this card. I don't have any action to flip up this card. I also, I can do an attack, but I can't attack it while it's face down, and I can do a move, but then all I would get was the move. So the third possible option here is to just get 2 willpower, and I think I'm just going to do that. I'm going to start stockpiling some willpower, so when I do get to attack, I'm going to get to really bring some guys down. And that's all of my cards are out of my hand, though, now.
Okay, I have to pick up my cards.
So doing the revitalization, Lynn picks up her cards, but she's also going to have to draw a narrator card and read it. So we're going to read the story on the narrator card so you can get an idea of the fluff of what's going on. Also, what do we got here?
The outer tower is a nice point of attraction for the creatures as well, but just then there appears 1 face-up card goes to 3.
Uh-oh. Oh, it's right where I am. Oh, he's only at 5. I think I can take him.
And it says, you never would have imagined that this kind of creature would have shown up in Wolfron's Forge, and 1 face down goes to 2.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So that card is removed. We have increased the number of stuff out there, and unfortunately, I'm going to have to do the same here. So I'm going to pick up my cards, and I'm going to draw the next card as well. Tools strewn across the floor, the glowing embers poured out. Wolfron's Forge is now home to a creature that shares nothing in common with your species. We get 1 face-down card at spot 2. If a creature of this type appears at the outer tower, extreme caution is advised. We get 1 face-down card at spot 3. Aw, man. So immediately covered up the guy I could have killed. That really stinks. Well, it's your turn. What you going to do?
I'm going to do the middle action, which is get a quiver and turn over a card.
I'd really like it if you turned over my card, because maybe I could kill him. I got a whole bunch of willpower here. I could probably deal with him. I'd appreciate it.
I got a 4. It's better than a 2.
I hope he's not too tough. Oh, he's easy. It's a gore. Ah, piece of cake. All right, so in which case, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play this awesome card here. I really like this one because the top option here is 4 attack power. This guy only takes 2 to destroy, and I get a willpower point. So I'm going to take a willpower point. I'm going to play playing this card up. I'm going to defeat the gore, which is worth a coin, which is also really good. I'm going to play that. Put him off to our trophy room, and then that is it for my action. Whoops, I forgot to actually take my willpower. So here we go. I'm going to take my willpower there.
I'm going to do the move and get a quiver. So I'm going to move here, and I'm going to get a quiver.
Okay, that's good. So now I can take out this... Wardark here. He's only a 5er, which is not really that tough, but there's only 1 face down card underneath him, and even though I don't need this giant 8 to drop him, I don't need this giant 8 attack to drop him, so instead I'm going to use this one that has the 6, because he's only a 5er. That's pretty easy. So I'm going to use this power 6 attack, and it says... After a victorious battle, you may remove 1 top face-down encounter card without looking at it. So I'm going to put him in the trophy gallery. I'm going to remove this one immediately. I don't look at it, but then I get to flip this up as a free action. And it says, reveal 1 task card of your choice immediately. And then the Hadrian Fire, it says you must have turned over all task cards to complete this. So this is going to be a tough one, but it does immediately let me flip one up. Which one do you think we should see? Which one do you want to go for?
Well, I was going to work on this pile.
So go ahead and flip that up and see what it is.
See if it's even worth me staying here.
So what does that one say?
This one says, Dran, king of the Flugors, you must remove 4 Flugors from your trophy gallery.
Well, that's not bad because actually, even though we don't have any Flugors yet, we already know from having played this game, Flugors are fairly easy to kill. They're not a very tough monster. So that's actually not a bad one. Hopefully you find some in that pile. Mm-hmm. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? Before my turn is over, let's do this to prolong our time. I'm going to... discard the gore from our trophy room, who's worth 1 gold, to use the apple nut, and we both may draw 2 cards back up into our hand.
Okay, so I am going to use my quiver attack. It's 2 quivers.
Oh, nice.
So I'm going to use the 4 and the 2
for a 6
to defeat the 6. And it says you may remove 1 top face-down encounter card without looking at it. So I'm just going to remove that one.
Okay, so now that one is uncovered. We just got to find some Flugors to be able to get to them. So we're going to probably have to do a little bit of moving and flipping of things, it seems like. So speaking of which, we've got a couple things here that we don't know what they are. I'm thinking that maybe I should flip them because I have a double flip action. I can flip up 2 cards, and I think that'll be good because it might set you up to be able to go kick their butts. So the first one is a troll. Now, trolls are tough. This one is a tenor. However, if we defeat him, he gives us a friend card, which is very good because it's another card you can play before having to reveal a narrator card. And the other one is a Garlet, which is a power 7 guy that gives you a gold when you defeat him and also gives you a free move. So both of those are actually pretty decent. The 10's a little tough to defeat, but I definitely can defeat him if I use my cards in the right order. And you know, we'll see what. And this guy here as a 7 is actually not too difficult. So this is how the game is played. Now, as you see, we're working our way towards being able to complete these goals. As soon as we're able to complete a goal and we've got it totally uncovered there, we can remove that goal from the board because we will now have scored it. If we can complete 4 of the goals, then we will win as long as we do it before we run out of cards and would need to draw another card. So now we're going to head over and we're going to talk about how this game plays and how it feels, and we're going to rate it and review it. Okay, welcome back. So that was how you play a game of the Liberation of Rietburg. So let's start off with if we have any negatives. If you got any negatives you want to draw attention to with the Liberation of Rietburg.
Oh, you mentioned it earlier, but the board is really small.
Yeah.
And I mean...
It's a minor gripe.
And you don't really even need a board. I almost would kind of prefer not having it at that point, because then you could spread them out, then make it seem more like, I don't know.
You know, our friend Alex, who also appears on the channel often, mentioned the same thing, that he's like, you could do without the board. But I'm going to disagree with the two of you. And the reason is, I like the board because I really like the artwork in the middle. But that being said, I still would have liked a bigger board. And I'd have been okay with paying a few more bucks for a bigger box and a bigger board. Of course, at that point, it would have felt like maybe they should have added some more components as well. But I would have been okay with... Now, granted, we got this one for free. But if I had bought it, I would have been okay with paying a few more bucks for a bigger board. I really like that board. I think the artwork on the board is very nice.
Yeah, or I mean, they could have done like a neoprene mat so you could just roll it up. And it would still be like the same size box.
I don't know though. I think you would need a bigger box for that because a lot of times when you roll up those mats, they do take up a lot of space, and definitely would have been shaped differently.
Thick though.
Yeah, but then they also would have had to shape the insert different.
Yeah, that's true.
They would have had to shape the insert differently, but that I guess that would have been doable. All right, so that's a fairly minor gripe. In the realm of gripes, and I don't. That's actually my only gripe too. Is the board? Oh, and also we mentioned it earlier. I forgot my other gripe. I wish there were more cheat sheets. There's only one set of cheat sheets in here, and then a somewhat cheat sheet on the back of the rule book. I would have liked, you can use the back of the rule book as a cheat sheet, but then I would have still liked 2 more sets of the cards so that everyone could have one in front of them.
I wonder if their thought was that it's cooperative, so they don't, like, everyone doesn't need their own set because, oh, you're sharing.
That's fair. But that being said, like these, I mean, on the scale of gripes, these are minor gripes. These are not, like, there's no, in my opinion, there's not any real major flaws with the game, the mechanics. The artwork is really nice.
Sometimes the cards are a bit ambiguous when we read, like, what we're supposed to do.
I don't really think they are. I think the cards are pretty clear. I think the times when we were confused, it was more our fault because we got really excited playing this game and there was a lot of high energy going around the table and people would read it quickly and misread it. But like when you go back and look at it, you're like, oh no, it says an encounter card, not a task card. And it was our mistake. It clearly stated it. So I don't really think it is ambiguous. I think that was on us, personally. So there's not... Do you have any other gripes?
No, I mean...
Not really. Okay, so there's nothing else negative to talk about then, really, that we found while playing The Liberation of Rietburg. Positives. Why don't you throw out a positive for The Liberation of Rietburg?
It's quick and easy to learn.
It definitely is. It was very easy to learn and teach. The rules are not very complicated, and it's also really easy to help each other out and have a lot of discussion. This is another related positive I'm having. While playing, I found that we did a lot of table talking, of discussing strategies like, okay, can you kill this monster? Can you get there and kill it next turn? No. Okay, can someone else kill it before we're going to have to get more cards, and some might show up on top of it. And I liked that. I thought that was really, really cool. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's because your cards are in your hand, so there has to be discussion to discuss what you can do. But even though this is a thoroughly cooperative game where everybody can do similar things, they are different. They're asymmetric. Everybody has cards that do slightly different things, but they are similar. Like, you all have cards that let you flip stuff over, attack bad guys, things like that, move around. It felt like somehow they managed to make a game, or rather, Gerhard managed to make a game that avoided alpha gaming. Like, there didn't seem to be a lot of alpha gaming. Everybody was involved when we're talking. Like, nobody was like, okay, I'm the general and we take over. It didn't happen that way. Like, everybody was discussing. There was a lot of back and forth discussing of things. Did you find that?
Yeah, I guess.
I think it's probably because of how your actions you can use are in your hand. So someone would literally have to memorize like everything that all the players could do to fall into the trap of alpha gaming. So I did like that. I appreciated that, and I think that's a big part of why I like this game as much as I do. Spoiler alert: I'm going to be rating this positively. I usually have issues with co-op games because of the fact that often one person falls into the role of basically telling everybody what to do, and that didn't happen at all with our playing of this game. It's just the style of the game itself doesn't lend itself to someone being the general. And that's great. That's really good. On top of that, I like the production. I like the artwork. I like the play style, and the easy to learn rules, like you said, made it very good for, like, it's very easy to understand how to beat a monster.
Yeah.
A monster has a number. You need to equal or beat that number to defeat it. It's very simple. You're like, oh, okay. Well, I can get that number. Boom. Okay, or I can't get that number. Can anyone else get that number? Can we get rid of this monster? It's going to help us towards one of our goals before new cards come up. Can anyone else do it? And then someone goes, well, I can get it to come to me and the next turn do it. Can we prolong, having to pick up cards? What can we do? So, yeah, I mean, is there anything else you want to talk about in regard to the gameplay or just in general about Liberation of Rietburg?
Not really, no.
All right, so should we jump right into the review?
Yeah.
Do you want to go first or second?
I'll go first.
Okay, how many stars out of 10 are you going to give to the Liberation of Rietburg?
I'm going to give it 7.
Okay.
And it's because, the game is fine.
Okay.
I just think it was a little, I don't know. I was a little underwhelmed by it. It was it's like samey. It's like you doing the same things over and over. You only have those 3 cards unless you get friend
I don't
cards.
understand why you give stuff a positive rating and then make it sound like it's negative. So let's start with, what does 7 mean? Because 7 is a positive rating. So what does 7 mean? It means that you'll play it just about any time someone asks. It's a good, decent game, and you'd play it just about any time. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so let's start with that, and then you can say the other thing was what kept you from maybe giving it an 8.
Okay.
Because you always do that. You sound so negative when you're giving it a positive score. I don't understand why you talk about it that way.
I don't know, just how I am.
Okay, so but you liked it then?
Yeah, it was fine.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to play it all the time.
Okay.
Or remember when you were like, "Oh, do you want to play this again?" And I was like, "No."
But everyone else at the table wanted to play this a second time immediately. Immediately, everyone wanted to play it a second time. I'm going to give this. So this is actually, I think this might be my second favorite co-op game right now. I actually liked it that much. I'm going to give it 8 stars out of 10. I'm not normally a co-op fan. And this one really clicked with me. I like it a lot better than most of the other co-ops, except for one in our collection. If you're curious, that one was Mysterium. So this is second only to Mysterium as a co-op for me. I really, really enjoyed this. I would definitely play it again. Immediately after playing it the first time, myself and Sabrina and Alex were all like, let's play this again. And now you nixed it. You said, I liked it, but one is enough for now.
Yeah.
So this is a 2 thumbs up review. Lynn gave it 7 out of 10 stars. I gave it 8 out of 10 stars. We both quite liked this game, despite the way Lynn just tried to make it sound. We both quite liked this game. And actually, also, I know that Alex might have even been higher on this than I was. The way he talked about it afterwards, he was like raving about it. We didn't have time, unfortunately, to film a review with Alex when we played it. But that is still quite a good rating. A 7 and an 8 respectively, 2 thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, either on this video or on the Liberation of Rietburg, the game, feel free to put them in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this review and tutorial and you'd like to see us do more like it, be sure to give it a like. Share it on all forms of social media. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Board Game Kaptain. That's Kaptain spelled with a K on YouTube. And until next time, game on.